everybody, Mr. Chris here, Mr. Chris the Guitar Teacher. And first off, I'd like to say, if you would do me a favor and like and subscribe, that would be great because your subscription means everything to keeping the channel going. So I would certainly appreciate that. So today's subject matter. Recently I had a student ask about the types of picks that they should use. And it's really a personal preference. And so what I wanted to do is go over a very small collection that I've accumulated over the years and concentrate on maybe 5 different styles of picks. Okay, so we'll start with that. Let's take a look at the picks. So here we have a few of the picks that I have left over the years. And you can see there's all different kinds. There's plastic picks, there's nylon picks, there's picks of various different shapes, materials. What I'd like to concentrate mostly, and then of course, there's the picks that I have the most of, which are these Jazz 3s, Dunlop Jazz 3. I think these are either Jazz 2 or Jazz 3. Jazz 3, because those are the ones I like the best. There used to be a huge pile, but I lose picks all the time. I've been through so many different picks. This is just a very small amount of what's been out there. So the ones I'd like to concentrate on today, the different types, are a very thin nylon pick, a stone pick, a pick that I carved out of a foreign coin there, a wooden pick that I got from Thalia Company, and then the types of picks that have a little attachment so you can put them on your thumb there. And then of course my favorite, which is the Jazz 3, and there's the red, black, and then this, I forget the name of this material, but it's part of the Dunlop Jazz 3 pick selection. Oh, yeah, so that's it. So let's get to it. So I'd like to start with my favorite pick, which is the Dunlop Jazz 3. And I like to use the red ones because they're easy to find. I find these things all over the house, in the laundry, constantly all over the place. Because I usually just grab a bunch out of that little ashtray and stick them in the 5th pocket of my jeans, and then go about my day. So I always have a pick on me. But the reason why I use this particular pick is it's tiny and it's a little on the thicker side, which means it doesn't give very much flex, which means for me, the way that I play, the way that I like to play, whenever I'm playing a lead or just any, I'm very used to this strike that it has, the non-flex, this, and the feel of it. I like the tiny little feel of it. But that's my own personal preference. Actually, this is a very popular pick. A lot of people are using these. But everybody's got their own reasons. My reason is I just like the fact that it doesn't flex, so when I move, it moves with me. And it's just for the style of playing that I do. Although I often do videos with the acoustic guitar, I do play the electric quite often, and that's when I go for a lot of like improvisational leads and stuff, and that's when I really like to have the pick, this sharp little tool to move quickly without very much flex. So that's the reason why I like the Dunlop Jazz 3, and I'm not getting paid for this, I just like their pick. The next pick I want to talk about is just the opposite. It is a Dunlop as well, and it's made out of nylon. Let me see if I can get the measurement here. I think this is this is Jim Dunlop, and then it is 0.46 millimeters. So this is super thin. It has a lot of give to it. And so sometimes when I'm playing just the acoustic guitar, and I want to do some rhythms, and I want it to have a feathery sound, a light sound, I like to use this thin pick So it definitely has a specific job. More often than not, I will always be using that Dunlop, but when I think about it, if I'm doing some recording or if I'm playing backup acoustic guitar for a singer and I'm just doing a lot of strumming, this is a great tool to use for that job. And it has that nice, the way that it goes over the strings, it has a nice little sound to that as well, which I really, it's all part of it, you know? That stripe. Anyway, so that's the very thin Dunlop pick. So a couple of years ago, I took a couple of coins. This happens to be, I think, a kroner. Yeah, kroner. And I filed them down to get to have a steel pick, so zero flex. I did it in the shape of the Dunlop Jazz 3. It took a while to taper it down, but it has a certain bite to it. And again, it's just when you're, I don't know if you can hear, it's just got this real sharp bite when you hit the strings. Again, it's a very subtle nuance. Chances are very high, most of the time I'll be using that Jazz 3, but this one comes out every now and again, especially when I want to get a real biting tone with some of the electric guitars. Yeah, it's easy to just pull that out with a little piece of steel, which is basically a filed down coin. So you can always take a coin, a foreign coin, because you don't want to deface the American coin. But you can always take a coin and file it down and make your own pick. That's kind of fun. Well, a couple of years ago, it was probably in the 1970s, a long time ago, I came across these stone picks. Now these are actually, it's a stone, it's a piece of rock that somebody shaped into a pick and polished it down. And I saw it in a store and I thought it was interesting and I bought it. And I figured I'd put it in today's little video just because it's kind of interesting. Now this has the opposite effect of the steel one and the Jazz 3, and it certainly doesn't sound anything like the thin pick, but it has a very rounded tone. Again, it's more of the feel than what you're probably picking up over YouTube. There's zero flex, but it doesn't have the sharpness or the bite of the Jazz 3 or the steel pick. The steel on steel just has this bite to it. These rounded edges just kind of flow pretty well. Across the strings. But there is absolutely zero give. So any give you're gonna have, if you want any kind of control, you got to do that with your fingers by lightening up and just kind of having a feather touch. Otherwise, it's very possible. I have popped strings with this before. But again, it's a different tool for a different job, depending on what you're looking for. So this one, zero flex, which means instant response. But not so biting and sharp. Just a nice little rounded tone to it. And that's the stone pick. So this pick is 1.4 millimeters, and it is a wooden pick. Yeah, it's got something on it there. It's a wooden pick, and it is made by Thalia. And I believe Thalia is the company that I bought my capo. I bought a capo from Thalia. One of the many things you buy over the years. So this came with the capo, and I don't use it very much. Again, zero flex. because it's got its own little sound to it. And of course, the more you play it, this wears away pretty quick. So, because of course you're rubbing a piece of wood against steel strings, and it just kind of bites and starts to tear apart the wood. But it's interesting, and it just feels weird because it's the size of a regular Fender Medium, but it just has that no flex thing, so it's kind of a little counterintuitive. Again, no bite. But it's got a nice, it's smooth, but I don't think I haven't really used it much, and I'm probably not going to use it very much because it's just going to wear away into nothing. I don't even know how to replace it. I guess I could call Thalia. But I just wanted to kind of put it in there in the mix as one of the many types of picks that are out there. As you saw in that earlier shot, there's all kinds of different plastics and nylons and different, composites. But I just wanted to touch upon, just a couple, just for today's little info video. And that's it for the wooden pick. So these picks are kind of interesting. I like these. These are the ones where you can basically, it's made to fit on your thumb. I have a plastic example, Dunlop. And then I have a steel example, which is also a Dunlop. Interesting. Okay, just kind of happened to work out that way. So the cool thing about these ones, let me use the steel one. Oops, let me use the steel one first. Is you get, if I can put it on nice and tight. So when you're finger picking, your thumb, I have decent fingernails here, but not really on the thumb. So you got this thumb pick, but you can just leave the fingers behind and instantly you have, a pick right there in your hand. And again, the steel has a nice biting tone to it. I think these ones are made for banjo players mostly. But, you can use anything. You can use anything. Any material. So I like this one. Every now and then I'll pick this up and use it if I have to do something that I know I'm going to use multiple fingers for, and I still want to be able to just hit the pick at the same time. So you just go back and forth real simple on that. So, because sometimes when I just play with my fingers, that's a whole different experience when you don't have a pick in your hand and you're just kind of using your fingers. That's a whole other thing, which is fun, and again, different tools for the job. But to have this wraparound is really nice to be able to do both, to just instantly go into pick mode and instantly also go into finger picking mode. And the same thing with the plastic one that just dropped on the floor, so I won't be using that one at the moment. But anyway. So that's it for those styles of picks. So basically, in conclusion, you just acquire picks through the years, you try different things, and you find out which works best for you. For me, like I said, I like different tools for different jobs, but generally I will always go back to the Dunlop Jazz 3. I don't know why, it just speaks to me. It's a tiny little thing. The grip is nice. It's got the little serrations on it, so the grip is good. I've been using it for years, so I'm used to it. And unless I have a specific job I want to do where I'll need that super thin pick, or excuse me, possibly a real bite of a piece of steel or something like that, chances are 95% of the time I'm going to be using that Jazz 3. That's my personal choice. Everybody kind of has to make their own choice through the years after trying different things out. Most guitar stores you walk into will have a little fishbowl with free picks sitting right there. Oftentimes the bigger stores, Guitar Center or Sam Ash or something like that, they'll have that, and you can just take them for free and use them to your little heart's content, and that's a very good start. But as time goes on, you're going to find the pick that is right for you, or the combination of picks that are right for you. It's just trial and error. And that's the best thing, because you get to just play guitar and try different things out. Anyway, I just wanted to drop this quick video today on the different picks, because I did have a student ask about picks and what would be best for them. My answer basically was just what I just said. Try them all and see what you like the best. Chances are you might find different tools for different jobs. And that's it. I hope this was helpful, useful, and I would certainly appreciate a like and a subscribe. The subscribe is super important to keep the channel going. All right, well, thank you very much. Have a great time and play guitar. Thanks. Bye.